Hey everyone, it's Brian Kaz here. We'll get started here in just a second. We'll give you guys like another 30 seconds or so. I see there's still some showing up. Um, all right, let me get my screen up here. All right, there we go. Um, So what we'll basically be doing here is, I'm sure most of you have seen we had basically a couple special offers in the past few weeks. One was to get basically instant exposure or basically publicity on several basically top news sites like Fox News, Yahoo Finance, CBS Times, Market Watch, so on and so forth, where we actually do that as a service for you. And then we had a second offer on how to become an Amazon best-selling author, and we've had a bunch of questions on them. So what we thought that we'd essentially do is have a webinar where we would not only reveal some additional tips and stuff and some additional benefits to basically both of those, but also allow you guys to basically ask any questions you want. And then we also compiled a big list of questions that we received from a bunch of you, along with our answers, to kind of help basically answer all the questions at once. We know there was a lot of people with a lot of extra questions and stuff on it, so we just thought we'd do all that right here. And also at the very end, we'll have a very, very, very special deal only for those right here, right now. This is only for those of us basically on our list that are on this call right here. This is not an outside offer or basically anything like that. So we'll basically talk about what that is in just a bit. So it's a really, really crazy, awesome deal right there. And as always, this is a live call. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you can feel free to ask in the chat box, and I'll make sure in the Q&A time in a little bit to look over all those. So once again, my name is Brian Kaz, and I'm also basically joined by my friend and business partner, Sean Casey. And this is, again, more like a Q&A and also an overview of basically a couple offers we've had on how to get your basically article featured on, several top news sites, as well as how to become an Amazon best-selling author. So you might be saying, well, how exactly do these benefit you? Well, it can both can actually give you a lot of credibility, which is probably the biggest thing. They can also lead to free publicity for you and your business. They can lead to more sales and traffic and leads. They can help with SEO and better rankings, get more sales, and they can also be leveraged into a lot more opportunities, like basically speaking gigs and media appearances and stuff like that. Or you can even just use it as a service that you sell or basically do for others. So we recently released essentially these two very special offers and have received tons of questions on them. So we wanted to basically do a Q&A as well as reveal some more benefits and basically tips and stuff for essentially each of them. So one of the offers was for a service where we write an article on you or your business and get you featured on several top news sites, so that you can not only get free publicity, but also be able to use a label like this, like the as seen on, which can help increase conversion rates on probably almost anything that you sell. It can also help give extra credibility. Even if you're just an affiliate, it can give you credibility right there. So that is really, really huge. And it's basically getting featured in a handful of news sites like you see right here, or like right here. And these aren't like no-name bloggers or anything like that. Here's a handful that we have the service providers do on myself right here. And you're actually guaranteed to actually get placement in these associations like Associated Press, Medium, the Business Times, USA Today, Google News, MSN, Thrive, NBC, Forbes, Fox News, Market Watch, CBS, and lots more. So again, well-known names, well-known associations. Plus, you'll also get submitted basically to a couple thousand additional news sites, newspapers, and other media outlets as well. So we submit you to basically a couple thousand more, but you're guaranteed at least on these associations right here. So pretty good deal right there. Now we had a special deal on this where the special pricing at the time was for about $1.50 grand, which is a steal when you look at the price of basically other PR services that basically offer a lot less, yet they basically charge 10 times or more for that right there. Now, the second offer we had was on a video series course on how to become an Amazon best-selling author step by step, even if you don't have a book yet. Okay, so we even walk you through how to actually write one or outsource that very, very easily. And if you have a book or have an existing one, that's fine as well. We can show you how to very, very easily become a bestseller on that. So some of the prior best sellers of ours you can see right here. Now, as business owners and marketers, we have a lot of books in like the marketing and entrepreneur area, but this applies to like any topic, any niche that you could think of. I don't care if your niche is gardening. I don't care if it's, how to win at blackjack, how to flip furniture, how to, basically paint, like any topic is fine right there. The exact same principles apply to all those. And here's some proof of some of our #1 bestseller rankings. So again, we've basically done this a bunch of times. If you know what you're doing, if you follow the steps, not all that hard. So here's one. It's a #1 bestseller for 50 marketing tips and tricks learned after 100 million in sales over basically 20 years. It was the #1 bestseller in internet marketing, as you see right here. Also the #1 in web marketing, #1 in business. And not only did we hit the #1 spot in the US, but we also topped the bestseller list in the UK, Australia, Germany, and France. And that's the case with like all of these. Here's some of what happened with another bestseller book of ours, which was basically 12 businesses that essentially people can start online in 1 day or less. #1 bestseller in marketing, #1 in e-commerce professionals, #1 in basically 2-hour business and money short reads. Here's another #1 best-selling book in multiple business or in multiple categories, which is the book Business Insights from Great and Famous Entrepreneurs. #1 in business marketing and sales, #1 in advertising, #1 in entrepreneurship advertising. And again, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. We had a lot more. Those are just some to show. We actually achieved #1 in a bunch of categories in a bunch of different countries and stuff. And not only did all these books basically top the bestseller list in the US, they were also bestsellers in other countries like the UK, Australia, France, Canada, and even Japan. And in all these cases, we weren't just bestsellers, we were the #1 bestsellers in those areas as well right there. And again, these aren't just like fly-by-night books or these are like really good high-quality books. And you can see here by seeing that we have lots of very good reviews right here. Here's one, a bunch of 5-star reviews. Here's one here's one with 59 reviews, rated real high right here. Here's what some of the readers are saying. Like this one saying it's epic advice worth millions. And it looks like this guy right here actually teaches a business course, and he's looking to add our book into his basically curriculum. And as you can see, we've been at this a while. We have I think over a dozen best sellers. We usually do like I think like maybe like one a year or so. We've been doing a couple times or a few times. We basically do maybe a couple books a year. We've been at this probably since gosh, maybe like 2013, 2014, as you can see right here. Again, lots of people saying they love it. Great book. Yada yada. And this is a step-by-step video series where we walk you through everything from how to write or basically outsource a book quickly to how to rank and how to promote the book even for free and become a bestseller within days. You can actually do this within days without actually spending a penny. Now we also have training on if you want to do some of like basically the paid promotions and stuff like that. We do have trainings that we include on that as well, but you can do actually all this without spending a penny. In fact, out of all the books that we've been a bestseller for, which has been over a dozen, I think over half of them we actually didn't spend a penny on to achieve the best seller status. At the very start, we actually had some where we did like some very, very inexpensive methods, but then afterwards we just entirely did the free methods because we're like, hey, both of these work, so might as well do it for free right here. So again, this isn't something that you have to like, I know there's courses out there that, the basics of the course is, hey, you buy $100,000 of your own books. And that's, not only a waste of money. Yes, it can get you there, but this is nothing like that there. So we had this at a special price at the time for only $997 with a 1-year money back guarantee. So you could take your time on this. There was no rush, and we stood by it with, again, the 1-year money back guarantee. Even though you can achieve this in a matter of days, it can literally take you less than a day to implement. I mean, we're talking a matter of hours to implement everything, but we give you a whole year to basically do so right there with the guarantee. So pretty awesome offer right there. So both of these can be used to help you build lots and lots of credibility, get you extra traffic and leads, and be used to leverage them into more opportunities. And there's a bunch of benefits and tips to both these. First, you can use your PR and or your bestseller status to give your future offers or services even more basically credibility. You can even use the as seen on or from best-selling author of blah 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 to kind of like boost the appeal of your site, of your blog, of whatever offers you have, along with your credibility. You can also leverage that into more opportunities for speaking engagements, referrals, more media exposure, basically partnerships, so on and so forth. If you're like a no-name guy and you're trying to speak at like a certain event or sell at a certain place, if you have a best-selling book or you're featured on like certain basically top sites, you stand out a lot more. You're more believable at that point. They know you're a bit more legit at that point right there, and you can leverage that into a lot more opportunities. You can also use all the links from basically PR offer to get basically extra SEO link juice or rankings on essentially Google and whatnot. So that's an added side benefit right there. You can also take advantage of all the highly targeted traffic and leads that can also come from basically either of these. You can also use your book as something like a business card or as a front-end lead grab, like basically get a free, essentially book, or sell like a low-end book offer to basically generate interest. So if you want to give out a book that you sell for free or just charge shipping for, that's a great way to get your name out there. Or if you want to sell a book for like a low price to have like a low-end offer to get like leads into your funnel and sell them more, or higher end services or coaching, that's fine. You can also use your new knowledge of becoming an Amazon best seller to sell it as a service to lots of others for thousands a piece. In fact, one sale of your own can make 5 to basically 10 times your investment back pretty easily. If you had a package where if you helped existing authors become a best seller, that's the kind of thing where if you basically did it as a service for them, charging $5,000 to $10,000 would be considered essentially cheap. That would be on the cheap side. Now, if you had a package where you helped like write the book and all that as well, now you don't have to actually write the book yourself. You could outsource that essentially to a writer for not all that much. You could charge upwards basically 15 to 25 grand, and you still might be considered fairly inexpensive. In fact, I know guys that actually charge 25 grand, upwards of 100 grand to actually do stuff just like that right there. And oftentimes they don't even include the writing of the book with that. They'll just help you versus writing it for you right there. So obviously a lot of money in that as well. You can also get listed as an expert on sites like helpareporter.com, or use your PR or best seller status as a label on basically Q&A sites to help basically answer very, very targeted questions and get more leads off of there, and basically come off as more of an authority. On sites like Help a Reporter, they oftentimes will ask basically questions, or they'll look for experts in certain fields. So if you're featured on certain news sites, or you're a bestseller yourself where you can mention that, you have more authority that way. I've actually done that trick myself, even in like the wedding niche years back. You know, I had a book there where you know, I was actually getting contacted and got actually featured in some news outlets because of a book I had in the wedding niche. I was viewed as an expert in that area. So, you know, really funny stuff, you know, that can work real well there. But on a more serious note, you can basically do this for any niche, because again, if you have a best selling book, or you have the publicity on these other sites, you stand out a lot more. And it looks much better if they basically quote you and say you're a best selling author or whatnot right there. And again, the instant authority and the credibility can really boost the basically conversions on almost any offer you have. And there's, you know, lots and lots more stuff that you can do with these as well. So next, I'm going to move on to a special deal, and then I'm going to jump into the Q&A, which I know most of you basically came on this call for, to get more information on these offers that, you know, you've probably seen in the last few weeks, and to also ask any questions you want live as well. So the special deal that we basically you know, mailed out on in the last couple of weeks was $1,497 for the Get Instant Publicity offer, which was the service where we write the article for you and submit it and guarantee you placement, you know, on these news associations, which was a crazy special deal. And then the second offer that you saw was the for $997, which was a special limited time deal. That was for how to become an Amazon best-selling author. So you can see the deals at these links right there. So most of you have probably seen these or have received an email on them, but if you want a little more info on each one, you can basically check out the publicity offer at getinstantpublicity.com, and you can basically check out the best selling author course at becomeabestsellingauthor.com. So both those are still up there right there. Now, obviously the special deal that, you know, we previously mailed on, those offers basically ended as is. But, you know, of course, if someone wants to jump on it, that's perfectly fine right here. But you can wait on that, because we have a super crazy offer for those that are on this call right now. Reason being is we wanted to get as many people as possible in these for kind of a selfish reason, and that's what we want to kind of use you guys as more case studies, because it will help us sell more to basically the cold traffic when you know, in our own advertising and stuff like that. The more case studies we have, the better, and especially in like a variety of different markets and niches and a variety of different people and all that. So what we're willing to basically do here, and this is a crazy deal, only valid for those like right here right now, is everyone on this call right now through the end of this call, and again, we'll basically be doing the special Q&A in a minute, you can get the bestseller course for free when you buy the Get Instant Publicity offer. Now, if you previously bought it in the last basically couple weeks, we'll throw in the course for free, no worries at all. So we'll reach out there, so don't feel like you got basically gypped or anything. So we'll actually throw that in for free if you previously bought it. But right now, if you get the instant publicity offer, we'll throw in the bestseller course for free. The only thing we ask in return is that we'd be allowed to, you know, once we get you the results on the publicity offer, and or once you get the results with the bestseller course, is to get some kind of a testimonial from you right there, because we really want to use you as like a case study. We don't even have to use your name, like if like you didn't want to mention the niche you're on or something like that, just to basically say, hey, you know, I achieved the best seller for my niche, you know, here, or hey, I got free publicity from, you know, X places right here in X amount of weeks, something along those lines. That's what we're kind of looking for, because we want to actually build up the case studies, and we thought, why not kind of start with our own users first, before we go out and kind of blow this up, you know, on like the cold traffic side and all that right there. So we thought the best way to incentivize you guys was to basically offer a crazy deal and kind of like a 2-for-1 deal right here. So to get this deal, you can just basically purchase getInstantPublicity.com. If you go there right now, if you make a purchase, it won't automatically basically give you the best seller course, because this is just a special deal that we just actually thought of. So we'll manually send you an email, you know, basically this afternoon, or depending upon where you are in the world, you know, this evening, or morning. We'll send you an email probably within the next few hours. If you buy, like, you know, right now, you'll probably get it within an hour. We'll send you the login to, you know, the best seller course. You'll actually get that for free as an added bonus. So as long as you get it right now, you'll actually get that as a free bonus, even though it's not even mentioned on that basically page you see right there. So you'll get both the Get Instant Publicity offer and the bestseller course for free, just by buying the Get Instant Publicity offer right here, right now. So for the $1,497, you'll actually get both of those included right there at no additional cost. And if you previously bought this by itself, we'll be emailing you with free access to the best seller course right there. So no worries there. And I know there's a couple questions of people saying, oh, what if I just bought a couple weeks ago? No worries. We're actually throwing in the course right there. All that we ask again in return is that, you know, once you get the results, you basically give us the feedback, or like a case study or a testimonial that we're allowed to use there, because we thought that's kind of a good win-win. So now moving on to the Q&A, and I'll leave the link up right there, and Sharon, who's on this call helping us, will have that link basically posted in the chat, which is just getinstantpublicity.com. And again, if you buy right there, you'll get the best seller course for free, and that's on top of actually getting basically the PR service. So you guys can ask anything you want, but what I actually did right here is we got tons and tons of questions, you know, online over email. So I kind of basically compiled all the common questions that I got with the answers I got. And then if there's anything else left that I didn't answer, you can ask them, and we'll make sure to basically answer. And I already see there's a bunch of questions now, and most of these, if not all, I actually have covered here because a bunch of other people are asking. So for the PR offer, question we got from several people is, am I really guaranteed placement? How long will it take? Yes, you actually guaranteed placements in all the news associations mentioned, and it typically takes a couple weeks, but we say to basically allow up to like a month for most of them, and then sometimes a couple more weeks for a few of the stragglers. That's because, you know, most of the results we can get within a couple weeks, but you know, we have to have a little time to like plan ahead of time. So, you know, you'll get like a list of questions to basically answer, and you know, we say, you know, you'll see the results guaranteed within about a month, usually within a couple weeks. But a couple additional, you know, the placements might basically take up to 6 weeks, depending upon when they get to basically posting it. But again, the vast majority of it will be within the first month, right there. The other question that we often get is, will I get an as seen on graphic? Yes. Once you get featured on these associations, we'll actually give you some free as seen on graphics that you can feel free to use. Those ones that we've actually made ourselves that you guys can use as you see fit. All right, a bunch of you also ask, can I have a link mentioned in the article? And do I have to have a website for this to work? So to answer that, you don't have to have a site, but if you do, you can certainly have it mentioned in the article. And keep in mind, these are basically professional articles on news sites. So like, the reason why we write the article ourselves is we want it to be super high quality, and we want it to, like, obviously if you basically provide a link, it has to be a family friendly link. Like, you can't link to like a porn site or to like a hate group site. I mean, obviously stuff within reason. Like if you have a site with like a special offer on it, or a review site or affiliate stuff, that's all fine. Just obviously use basically common sense on what like we basically can and can't link to. So if it's something that's would be in violation of like most of the news sites, on what they would like, obviously not. But for 99.9% of you, that won't be an issue. On also on the PR offer, we had a handful of people say, do I have to buy it now, and do I have to use it immediately? So to get the special deal, yeah, you would have to buy it now, but you don't have to use it immediately. So you could basically purchase it now and use it in the future. But it is also first come, first served basis, because this isn't like something where we can do a bunch of you all at once on the exact same day, because stuff has to be spread out a bit. So the first ones to basically purchase get basically done first in line. So if you get it now, and we get the info from you and all that, you'll probably have your stuff done within a matter of a couple weeks. If it's later, it might be closer to like the 1 month mark right there. But again, usually they're real fast on that. Another question that we sometimes get is, what basically kind of placements are these? Like there's some that are asked, hey, will it be featured on like like a front page news on like Fox or on like basically TV? And in most cases, they obviously won't be front page news, but that's not the point of it. You'll get essentially guaranteed placements on all the top news associations mentioned, but that doesn't mean that they'll be like the front page news or anything like that, because again, that's not the point of it. The point is to be featured on all these news associations, so you could say as seen on, as well as get the extra link juice, the extra publicity, the extra traffic. So how it works is a lot of these news sites have tons and tons of like associated sites. Like if you take Fox News, so Fox News, just as an example, there's tons of Fox News basically news sites. Like there's a bunch of local ones all over. There's the big main ones, and between all of these, they're all in one association. Oftentimes they look for, like, some will look for basically extra news pieces, especially some of like the local ones and whatnot. They might not have a steady flow in, let's say, their business news section of a bunch of stories. So we utilize our relationships there and stuff that we have with a guy that's been doing this essentially PR with us for literally years. I think it's actually a couple decades almost, where he uses a lot of these relationships to actually go out and have high quality articles written that these places really like, because if they don't have a news piece now, they're looking to post some stuff. If they have a pre-made one that's of super high quality, that they can literally almost basically copy and paste in and be done with their job, they're going to do that. And that's how this works. So it's a win-win, where the news place gets an easy story, and you get easy publicity, and it's kind of like a win-win on both sides there. So it does not mean obviously that you'll be like featured on the evening news on the front page of like the main site. Is it basically possible? Maybe, but it's unlikely. It's usually it'd be like a smaller article in like a section relevant to what basically your topic is, right there on one of the associated sites right there. So that's how that works, and why it works well. So the other question we get, even though we addressed it a few times is, do I have to write an article, or basically can I? So you don't have to write any article for this, as we actually take care of that for you. You'll simply answer usually 6 to 8 questions or so, and they're fairly easy questions, just to help us get more info about you or your site or your business or your offer. And then like a few little tidbits that we can use. You can even submit like a picture of yourself or of your site or your offer. You don't have to, but you certainly can. And we'll use that to make the article. The reason why we do that is because we want to ensure that stuff is high quality. We can't, in all honesty, like have you guys submit like a half-assed article or something that's purely promotional with like nothing informative on it, that says, hey, buy here, buy now. We have to keep the quality up. Otherwise, this wouldn't work. You wouldn't be featured in these places. So that's why when we write it ourselves, it kind of guarantees that. Now, if you want to write something for us to look at and consider, sure, you can pass that on, and we can definitely look at that. But we basically say, if you answer the questions, we'll write the article for you to basically guarantee the quality of it, and all that right there. So that's why that works, and that's why it's super easy for you. So one of the other questions we sometimes get on this offer is, how will I know when I've gotten my articles featured? Well, within a couple or a few weeks of us submitting them, we'll send you a PDF file with all your links at that time. Now, keep in mind, some more will basically trickle in after as well, but the vast majority are usually done within like a few weeks of the time that we submit the stuff. So you'll know 100% for sure that you've received them, because we'll send you a list of all those links right there. Now, as for the best seller offer, a handful of the common questions that we have basically gotten is, does it cost me anything to basically achieve this? And the answer is no. Unlike other bestseller programs that often require tens of thousands of dollars to achieve this, there's nothing that you'll have to pay basically to achieve the bestseller status. Having said that, there are some very, very inexpensive ways of essentially getting results faster and bigger results that we also cover. And obviously, if you choose to outsource your book writing, you'll have to pay a writer for that and stuff. But you obviously can also write your own book, and that's no cost if you write it yourself. But yeah, a lot of the methods to basically achieve the bestseller status and to also promote your book don't have to cost a penny. But we also cover the free as well as some of the paid and very inexpensive ways of doing that. So all of those are covered within the course. The other question that we often got is, how much time will this take? So the longest part about becoming a bestseller is actually getting your book written, which we actually have training on how to help do that quickly too. And I've actually done it in a day before in the past, so it doesn't have to be a big thing. But the actual steps to achieve a bestseller status don't actually take all that long. They can be done in a matter of hours when done properly. Another question we get is basically, can this be done anywhere in the world, or basically can it be applied anywhere? And the answer is yes. We've achieved all our bestseller status in multiple countries at once, all over the world. The same concepts work, literally almost everywhere. Then we also got some questions on, do you have trainings on how to get better Amazon rankings, or is it just on how to be a bestseller? So yes, part of the trainings will actually cover how to easily rank higher on Amazon, as well as how to also get lots of sales outside of your rankings very, very easily. Literally anyone can do this. Doesn't have to cost a penny. Another question that we've basically gotten from essentially a couple people is, will I get rich off of selling my book? Realistically, most best sellers, unless you're like super famous, and even then not necessarily, don't make a fortune off of selling their book alone, okay? They make their money by leveraging their status, selling more basically to their leads, using the book as a front end offer to kind of basically get them into the funnel, and so on. However, having said that, there are people who use these strategies on a large scale to have lots of books that can make money all by themselves on scale. So like, if you're selling just like a single book that you want to be a bestseller on, the vast majority of the time, most of the money is made off of what you do with that book after the fact, like what you do with the leads, what you do with like the authority, and what you do to basically leverage yourself into more. Because yeah, you can make some off the book itself, but it's not like you'll make millions of dollars off of most of these books. But having said that, there are people that basically leverage this on a massive scale that do have lots and lots of little books, making them a little bit of money each. That basically adds up to a lot of money, overall. And you certainly can also do that method here with that. Although most of the stuff that we've done is more like how to get the book out there to leverage that into more. But you certainly can do both ways, and both ways are in the training and can work well there. So that's completely up basically to you and what you'd like to best do there. Another question that we saw is essentially, can I sell this as a service? So can they sell becoming a best seller to basically others? And absolutely, there's no reason why not. In fact, it's a great way to basically profit really fast off of this. You could sell a service where you can make someone a bestseller for 5 to 10 times the total investment here. And for the right buyers, that'd be a steal of a deal. I mean, literally for like $5,000 to $10,000 to actually do this as a service for someone else would be a steal of a deal. Now, if you include like helping them write, or even like writing a book for them, that'd be insanely cheap. You want to be probably more in like the 15 to 25K range on that. But for the right places, that'd be a steal of a deal right there. And for a lot of people, that would be an even better offer because it's like, hey, have it done for you. Like they don't have to do anything. They don't have to lift a finger, and they can achieve the best seller status right there. So that can work perfectly fine right there. Or if you want to even have it where there's like a bunch of co-authors on one book that you make a bestseller, you certainly can do that. We've actually sold that as a service, and that sells real well there as well. And that's certainly something that you can replicate yourself right there. Another question or basically concern that we've seen as well is, what if I'm not ready yet with my book? And the answer there is no worries. You don't have to have a book yet, nor do you have to use this knowledge immediately. On top of that, the trainings are very step by step where you can follow along at your own basically pace. So super easy. So the last question that we basically got here is, what does the course look like? How is it laid out, so on and so forth. I'll basically show you an inside view of that in just a second here. But once more, you can actually grab the deal right now. If you get the instant publicity offer, we'll throw in the bestseller for free. We'll actually email you that by hand, so you'll get access, but you have to go to that link right there and buy there. So that's just a special extra offer that we're throwing in right now, just to try to get as many case studies as possible. But I'm going to pause the screen for a second as I kind of show you inside what the bestseller course looks like. And you'll see how step by step this is right here. So here's inside the course right here, and you see a lot of different links to different sections right here on how to become a bestseller, how to market your book, how to rank, all that stuff, and stuff down here, which was a free basically bonus course on how to write your book or how to outsource the writing, all that right there. But what's really neat here is you'll see right here, like if you were to click here, any of these that you basically click on, there's a handful of step-by-step trainings for each one. Like this one has basically 2 trainings, and you see like most of these are step by step, and they're like usually most are short, from like 5 to 15 minutes or so, because it's literally going through step by step right there. Or like we have like a let's say like a section on Amazon SEO. There's a bunch of them right there. So some of the sections right here can have anywhere from 1 video to 6 7, 8, like you see right here. And they walk you through what each one is right there, so you can follow along at your own basically pace right there. So yeah, and then even stuff like how to write basically titles and just descriptions. I mean, we have literally everything covered on how to be a best seller on Amazon right there. And you know, again, tons and tons of training. Yeah, so lots and lots of marketing tips, lots and lots of promotional tips. There's even ways where you can actually give your book away for free and get actually paid doing that and achieve a bestseller status at the exact same time. There's also basically tips on how to get reviews, how to get additional sales, how to rank easily, how to make like super short books if you want as well. Like these don't have to be really long books. There's special basically tricks for promoting and making really short books, how to also get ranked on Google and promote off that, how to be a bestseller. Sometimes in like a day or less, you could easily achieve that with only basically a couple hours of work right there. So all that right there, as well as if you're basically brand new, how to make your own books, including we also have ways on the books where not only are there basically tips on how to write the book yourself, but also how to easily outsource it for super cheap, and also how to create low content books or books that you don't even have to write anything, that you have the free rights to use certain books and stories and text, basically copyright free, that you can actually turn into a book and list and sell and be a bestseller yourself at the same time right there. So lots of awesome tricks there. But yeah, that's just like a brief overview inside the course right there. I mean, literally basically dozens and dozens and dozens of short videos broken down step by step for you right there. So I'm just going to go back to the screen here. So with that, again, right now, the special offer is we're kind of doing like a 2-for-1 deal right there, where if you get the instant publicity offer, we're throwing in the best seller course for absolutely free right there. You won't automatically get that because this is like a last minute essentially bonus that we wanted to basically do. So that will be manually emailed out, once you basically purchase, probably within like an hour or so. But this is only available right here, right now. And again, the main reason why we wanted to essentially do this is that we needed a bunch of additional case studies for both of these offers. So we thought, hey, why not do like a crazy awesome deal there, where as a huge incentive, we'll basically give you both for the price of one, and you'll get that one at a huge discount on what the normal rate would be on that anyway. So it's like a huge discount on top of getting, basically buy one, get one free. But on top of that, the only thing we ask is once you get the results, that we'll later ask you if we can use you as like a case study or testimonial or something along those lines right there. Just so when we basically sell this basically to the cold traffic, we have a lot more social proof from a lot of different people and a lot of different niches and backgrounds and stuff, where it makes it look much better, and it's much simpler to sell to basically cold traffic at that time. So that's why we're basically doing this special deal for you right here. And once again, it's to get the instant publicity offer to get you featured in all those top news sites, so you can be so you can use the as seen on and get featured in the associations of like Fox News, NBC, Market Watch, all those guys right there, USA to a day, so on and so forth, the Associated Press, also in Google News, all that right there. And you'll get how to become an Amazon best seller. You'll actually get that course as a free bonus thrown on right here. Now, as you saw in the past basically a couple of weeks when we mailed that, those were two separate offers. Those were not free bonuses or anything like that. So this is a legit, very special deal just for you guys right here, for you on this call right here. And that's all for, again, only $1,497. And again, that's half off the normal price of just the PR offer, plus you get the $997 bestseller course for free, but you have to go to getinstantpublicity.com right now. And again, you get the guaranteed placements or your money back right there. So super awesome deal. I'm just going to pause this for a second as I look to see if I missed any extra questions. All right, so yeah, most of the questions it looks like we already answered in the commonly asked questions, but there's a few extra ones here. Looks like Will asks here, how do you write a book? So we actually have in the bonus course section, there's a bunch of trainings on just that. So whether you want additional tips on how to write it yourself, lots of good info there. There's also lots of tips on if you want to outsource the entire thing for super cheap, lots of good info there. If you also want to literally basically find certain contents that you have the rights to basically copy and paste, and I mean, that's again, insanely easy. We have a bunch of tips on that as well. All right, there's another question, it looks like from basically Cliff here, essentially asking, does the bestseller, thing work for pre-published books? Yeah, I mean, whether you have a book, don't have a book, it can work. So obviously, if you have a book already, that saves the hassle of having to get a book written. And there's lots and lots of training on how you can basically market and essentially list and not only rank it on Amazon, but special things that you can do to basically promote it. In fact, there's even like certain sites that you can list your books on and actually drive, or your new books, and actually drive lots and lots of sales. There's also things through Amazon where you can actually give your book away for free for a certain amount of time, like basically a couple times a year for only like a few days, where you'll actually get actually paid from Amazon a certain amount of money to give your book away for free. And you can also help achieve the bestseller status at the exact same time. So that's another strategy that can work well. There's also a handful of paid methods that can work well as well. So all that is actually revealed in the course right there. All right. Mary asked here if this is a big deal if she gets basically the book up in like a couple months. Yeah, there's no major rush on it. So like, if you're ready now, great. If you want to get the course and you don't think you'd have a book for like a couple months, this is a great way to jump on it right now. And once you have the book ready, you'll have the course there to basically take advantage of it. This is a really, really special, really crazy, awesome deal right there. Same thing on the PR side. If you basically buy now, not only do you get the huge discount, but if you're not ready to take advantage of the PR offer right now, you can save it. You can basically buy it right now and get the special pricing and save it, and in like a couple or a few months use it. And that's perfectly fine. We just ask that you basically give us a little bit of a heads up, because we have to basically plan out, or essentially time out stuff, because we obviously can't do like a bunch of people on the exact same day. So like we try to time out the stuff. So if roughly when, great. If it's not for like a few months, that's fine. But once it gets to be like a few months later, give us a heads up, like a week or two ahead of time, versus like, hey, I'm ready now, send it now. So like a week or so heads up is good right there. All right. And yeah, so this is again completely risk-free, because the placements are guaranteed. So that's all fine right there. And yeah, the bestseller stuff, there's a couple people saying, hey, is it, how much time would this really take, blah blah. Again, it doesn't have to take that long. So once you know what you're doing, it's super easy, and the trainings are laid out super easy, where it's step by step. Most of the videos are like a few minutes to basically 20 minutes long. Most of them are in like probably like the 5-minute range, because it's super easy. It's step by step and shows you what you're literally doing, so you can see it. Again, not all that hard. right there. And it, in a matter of hours, you can do all this stuff right here. And we lay out the training. So if there's certain stuff that you're not interested in doing, like if you don't want to do any of the paid promos, you can skip that stuff. I would still watch it just to see, because you might be like, oh, wait, that might be something of interest, but you don't have to do that stuff. We lay out all the trainings super easy right there. And as far as the PR offer, that's an actual service. You hardly have to do anything there. All you have to basically do is essentially answer a handful of questions and basically tell us a bit about you and your site, so we know what you are. So we write the actual article for you. That's all hands-free for you right there. And basically answering the questions doesn't have to be all that hard. So that's all fine right there. And when also this is so this is a great thing right here to also point out. When you buy basically the PR offer right now, you will see an upsell for if you want to get the bestseller course. You can skip that because you're already getting that for free here. So that was an added bonus. So you can, don't even worry about that. That's free and included. So no worries at all right there. We also have, if there's any issues or anything like that, we have a support email address at the bottom of the page there. So if you have any questions or you miss an email, you can always reach us right there very, very easily. So yeah, no worries at all right there. In fact, that is just support at getinstantpublicity.com. So any questions at all, you can reach us there. And they'll always get back to you, usually within like an hour or less. If it's in like the daytime, they're really fast and really, really good there. So yeah, so with that, I think we answered all the questions, because there's a bunch of other questions that were actually answered in the FAQ part right here. Yeah, so what I'll do right here, if you want basically a 2-for-1 deal right here, I'll have this up, or we'll basically honor it for like the next, let's say like half hour or so right there. But you want to make sure to jump on it again right now, because this really is a special deal meant only for those on our list, only for those right here seeing this offer, and again for those that are willing to allow us to use you as a future case study or testimonial. So once more, make sure you go to getinstantpublicity.com, and if you buy the PR offer through there, you'll automatically basically be qualified to get the best-selling course for free, which we will send you access to in an email by hand within like an hour or so of you purchasing. So with that, guys, if there's not anything else, thank you for being on this call. Hopefully we answered all of your extra questions and whatnot. And if not, feel free to reach out at the email address of just support@getinstantpublicity.com. It's also at the bottom of that link that you see right here. So with that, thanks, and thanks to those that just essentially jumped on this deal. There's lots and lots of people saying, oh, this is a real awesome deal, thanks. And some saying that they're about to actually buy one, and they're glad that they get the second one free now. Yeah, so that's all good right there. And if you previously bought, which I see some of you here have, we'll actually send you access to the bestseller course for free right there. Or if you bought the bestseller course, you can get essentially your purchase price as a discount to the PR course right there. So no worries right there. Just make sure to write us at support@getinstantpublicity.com. So with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of the week, and we'll chat with you later. See you.